Yeah, I've thought a lot about this, especially because this is a directing award, so it speaks to how I see the world as a female. And the more I direct, the more I recognize that directing is kind of litigating for the way I see the world. And straight white men have had their hands on protagonism and the camera for far too long. And people who have access to the camera need to be able to share that with women, with people of color, with queer people, especially trans people. People really need to be able to make work from their point of view. So I feel that television is a way to spread protagonism, and protagonism is privilege. Protagonism is privilege. Roger Ebert said, films and television are an empathy machine. When you make television, you're helping people to see how you feel in the world. So yeah, more queer people, more trans people, more people of color, more women behind the camera. Well, transgender people acting in trans roles, transgender people acting in cis roles. We need transgender people behind the camera. There's a really interesting thing about this question of meritocracy that's come up recently in the news and how people have access to their voices. There's no such thing as a meritocracy when you have to be from a certain class to have access to things like acting school and film school and connections. People really need to make an attempt to find and identify and nurture people of color, women, trans people, and queer people, and include them in the creative process. Yeah, well, people talk about the trans tipping point, but we are at such early days in the trans civil rights movement. As I said on stage, any of my trans friends could walk into an apartment, go to apply for a job, and have somebody look them in the eye and say, "We don't want trans people here." That is legal in 32 states. So transequality.org and the Trans Equality Bill is working to change that. I think if people in America really understood that that's the situation for trans folk, they would work harder to change that. And it's amazing that it's a television show and an Emmy and Amazon that it takes to be able to create cultural change, and then the political change must follow.